Smash him.
That's bad. That's bad pot.
Smash him.
I
It's
hit
just
him.
rubbish. It's literally labeled rubbish.
I hit him with the bad pot. I'm the trash man. I go out there and I throw trash around. I'm the scat man.
Oh.
Skibbity-bibbity-up,
Just jamming it in there. Just not even. We even discussed how we could appropriately put scatting in it, and you just couldn't even come to an agreeable place. To start. Yeah, it's just that. It's more that mostly.
There you go. All right, I'm better now.
All right, who was doing all that scatting?
Welcome to Watson&James Don't Play. My name's James.
And Watson.
Earlier we were discussing how I can fit Scatman John into the show.
It went about like that.
And there you go. I couldn't think of a way to do it. So the rest of the day, all I thought was, I'm going to start with Scatman John.
In the words of Lucille Bluth, I won't hear it and I won't respond to it.
I'm the Scat Man. Failed to log into the Dark Souls 3 game server.
Love it. Off to a great start.
That's not good.
No, it's great. It's fine.
We
it worked last time. We did just fine.
We recorded a little while ago, and we talked briefly about how the Dark Souls 3 servers and all the other Dark Souls games servers were offline. I'm assuming that includes Demon Souls, which is a recent release on PS5.
I think you're right.
Oh, it's a remake anyway.
Right.
Anyway, it's a new game, though. People want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And
A
now
lot more demand for that.
And now a key feature is missing from the game.
Have there been any updates that you've heard?
No. I just kind of
Googled.
I Googled Dark Souls server status, and it said Dark Souls servers are still down. And I thought, that's not great.
Well, offline mode it is.
Right. We're gonna load our games here. We have Sancho at the top. That's my
Sassy
big
Sal.
boy.
Sassy Sal.
Sassy Sal. Strong bad. You have to wait your turn.
All right, so we got to the Undead Settlement, and that's where we talked about the little pitchfork flying guys last time. I remember, right?
Yeah, that's what happened.
That's where we're at.
They're like
Ish.
gargoyles almost.
Yeah, they're like little white gargoyles.
I literally have not picked up the game since we last played, so I'm still out of Estus flasks, and I'm gonna need to backtrack because I'm a weak baby.
You're gonna go ahead and light that bonfire, baby.
Well, I mean, I don't remember where the nearest bonfire is.
I can't recall offhand either.
Maybe I'll just plow through it. I'll get my souls back if I need to.
Hey, what's the title of the show?
Don't play.
That's right.
There we go. And onward, here we go.
Onward, Christian soldier. Like, what if that just started playing?
So,
he just popped down.
He's
on
like,
you.
I'm gonna get him. He's got no juice.
I'm gonna sort you, Harry Potter. That's what he looks like.
Come on, there's got to be a bonfire.
I like how
around
he
here
saw you
somewhere.
and crumpled. He was just like, "Oh, I'm down. Never mind."
Oh, hang on, that wasn't me. Let's get
Another
this
one
guy.
down there. Yeah, with a lantern. Get him. Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh, he came from behind.
He's like, I'm gonna get him.
And yeah, now the other one knows you're around. So what have you been doing with yourself since the last time the servers were down?
I mean, not playing Dark Souls.
Not playing Dark Souls online.
Because there's nothing left. I have very little health now, and I have no flasks. I am terrified. Oh, jeez.
You watching anything good?
Oh, good. I found a bonfire. Good timing.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
So last time you had a bit of a moment during the show.
Oh, sure.
And we're going to talk about that moment.
Do you want to lead with it?
I think so.
Okay.
We're going to have to lead with it.
All right.
We can come back around if we have time to the thing that I had planned today, but if not, it doesn't matter. It's our show.
We'll lead however you lead, baby.
You went on a bit of a rant about how you were upset.
One of my world famous rants, you mean?
About how little of the Venture Brothers that I've seen.
So that wasn't against you so much as it was a lamentation of, like we talked about, not having someone to talk about it with or get a lot of references to jokes and things that I do constantly.
Right.
Yeah, it was more of that. It wasn't like anger at you.
You quote the show, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the gist of it.
And you want me to know. You want me to be part of it.
There's like 10 people on my Twitter account that are kind of the same way. We all just make... We're Venture fans. That's how we know each other.
You arch one another.
We don't arch one another.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Arching's bad, isn't it?
Arching is kind of the name of the whole gang. Like, if you want to get into it, we can get into it right. First of all, I think we should talk about what you've been watching. Because
real quick, we got a pyromancer here in a cage.
Because you need to unlock this guy from this cage.
He's Cornix, the old pyromancer. Someone put him in there for a reason.
Looks like they bound him up and...
His face is all wrapped up,
but he's
too.
like a bird man.
Kind of.
A little bit. Bird-esque. Like a bird on Broadway.
So in this game, you run into NPCs, and sometimes you can recruit them to come... I can decline if I want to. I'm not going to. I can ask to learn pyromancy.
Do it.
And he will be transferred to the Firelink Shrine.
Love it.
There he goes. He's gone now.
Popped right out of that cage.
I like that guy. He's cool.
He is a neat looking dude.
So I watched. I'd say it took maybe 2 or 3 days to watch season 1 of the Venture Brothers.
And that's on a foundation of, as we established, you had seen some episodes. Probably cumulatively, you had seen an entire season and a half, 2 seasons worth of here and there over the years.
I have seen the entire season of the first season of Venture Brothers.
And yeah,
just because I sponged them up because I was watching TV.
As we talked about with all the Space Ghost and stuff. Yeah, obviously you gotta. If you're watching that programming block, they were starting in 2003. Venture Brothers would have been a part of it too.
I want to say Venture Brothers probably came on right after Home Movies. It was one of their.
It was before or after. Yeah, yeah, that 11 o'clock midnight spot, from what I recall. Because I would be like, oh man, Aqua Teen's on. I missed it.
Right. Yeah, you missed it.
Something like that.
Because some of their more esoteric and weird shows, they put off till like 11 o'clock at night. And I think that was probably a good idea.
So I think what we'll go ahead and say now is, obviously we are continuing with Venture Brothers Corner. So if you're not watching the show, if you don't want to know what happens in season 1, we'll cap it at season 1 for right now. But spoilers in effect from here on out for season 1. Right.
I will say that I have also watched the entirety of season 2. I finished it up last night, actually.
But we'll give you some time.
And I would say I've seen about 7/8 of that season.
Yeah.
And now I've seen all of it, obviously. But at the time, I'd only seen maybe a few episodes here and there I was missing. But right now, though, we're going to talk about season 1.
And just kind of the groundwork in general. I think this will be a great jumping off point because, honestly, we don't need to do an episode-by-episode breakdown of season 1. I think if we talk about it as a season and we maybe break down some of our favorite episodes, by the time we come to season 2, we should be off and running.
What sucks, though, is that my favorite episode that I watched was in season 2.
I know it's the freshest in your mind right now.
So I'll have to wait on that one. While this guy smashes me with a pot of blood, I assume. There's guts in there. There's nothing good in that pot.
Smash him.
That's bad pot.
Smash him. It's just rubbish. It's literally labeled rubbish.
I hit him with the bad pot. I'm the trash man. I go out there and I throw trash around.
So imagine, if you will, a world where you haven't watched season 2.
Okay.
What do you think of the end of season 1? I mean, that's a pretty big cliffhanger,
Huge
right?
Cliffhanger. So I have a theory about why season 1 ended the way it did.
Okay.
I think that maybe Jackson Public or Doc Hammer or one of the main dudes in the show, I don't think they were expecting season 1 to get renewed. Would you say that that's accurate?
From what I understand, sort of.
Okay.
I think it was, something of a desire to hey, if we're going to take this season to tell, to not only set up this world, but if it doesn't get renewed, we will have at least told a story.
Right, and they did.
So there is an overarching story. You do get, standalone quote-unquote episodes, but there is stuff happening in the background, even in the very, very first episodes that don't pay off until the season finale.
Correct.
And I think even in its kind of embryonic stage, as far as the show goes, season 1, they really pull it off. I really think they do. I think it hooks you. I think it's got interesting characters. It's got a lot of stuff that, is going to just only be expanded on and only enriched. They do it's some of the best world building. Seriously, it's some of the best world building.
Do we just have to say what happens at the end of season 1 real quick, just to kind of rip that Band-Aid off?
Rip that Band-Aid and then talk to me about your favorite episode.
So spoiler, I'm going to spoil the season finale of Venture Brothers season 1. Turn it off now if you don't want to hear it.
You've had
ample
18
warning.
years or something to figure it out.
Right.
Figure it out.
That's like people are like, hey, spoiler alert when they're talking about Lord of the Rings.
Hey,
and
The Great Gatsby, man.
I'm
Come
like,
on.
hey, guess what?
I was gonna read that next summer.
He throws the ring in the fire.
That's right.
It is a little dicey at the end, but he gets it done.
Snape kills Dumbledore. Anyway, go.
The Venture Brothers, Dean and Hank and Dean,
the titular brothers,
die at the end of the episode.
Which, I gotta say, as the show goes on, the whole Venture Brothers thing takes on more and more meanings because there's more and more brothers in the show.
Yes. We'll get to that eventually.
The whole brotherhood thing is kind of a huge theme.
Yes.
And so, they died. They died. They're clones.
And they died in a hilarious way, but of course they did. They accidentally got killed.
And as far as we know, I think in the show, they're gonna stay dead. Like that's kind of where season 1 leaves you. It leaves you on that real kind of bittersweet.
And that's why I think it was kind of like it was seen as, all right, this is a nice place to end the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a tragedy, but you know what? There are a lot of tragedies out there. There's plenty of movies out there where the main character dies.
I don't find that any less satisfying. It's all in how you tell a story.
Oh, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, a movie can have a sad ending, a show can have a sad ending, as long as it's a great story. A lot of thought and love goes into it, and that's exactly what The Venture Brothers is a labor of love, and I can see that now. Well, because I can also tell you that the animation production value substantially increases in season 2.
It really kind of hits its mark, like the real look of the show comes into its own in season 3, and then it only gets better as they jump to HD and get better computer animation and stuff later on. So season 3 and beyond, it looks like it's supposed to look, quote unquote.
The show was out long enough to where they do jump to HD at some point, right?
They do. They switch formats.
We need to find a list of shows that made the jump to HD, because there's plenty of shows that are only available in standard definition. And there are a lot of shows that are only available in high definition because they were made at different points in history.
Long-running shows like The Simpsons or Family Guy and stuff like that.
They made the jump.
Those all made the jump. That's why you saw them redo their openings and stuff like that. Speaking of openings, did you watch that video that I sent you that was the Venture Brothers opening theme music, but it's set over the Johnny Quest intro?
I don't think so. Did you send it today?
If you haven't seen it, I'm going to post this on our Twitter. It really highlights how shot for shot the Venture Brothers opening is the Johnny Quest opening. Like, it is a parody of Johnny Quest. That's what the Venture Brothers started as.
Right.
And so when you put that music under it, you just go, oh, yeah, wow. They really, like you said, labor of love, handcrafted kind of the look and feel of all this stuff.
So for me, I didn't really watch Johnny Quest a lot growing up, but I did watch Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And I did so because that was what was on Cartoon Network. Before Genndy Tartakovsky took hold, well, were those Hanna-Barbera cartoons also officially? Like Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls?
I don't know if they were or not. I would have to go back and look.
But I'd say probably the early to mid-'90s Cartoon Network was getting off the ground, and they played a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Mm-hmm. Scooby-Doo was their bread and butter. And over time, that kind of switched gears to classic TV. Classic TV became more prevalent, and we have Boomerang now.
Yeah.
And that plays all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. But before that, Cartoon Network played almost exclusively Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and I finally remembered I guess you want to call it a He-Man spinoff that I couldn't remember the name of.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
But there were little blob people and a funny little guy who wore a tiara.
Yeah, what is that?
Herculoids.
Oh, the Herculoids. Oh, wow, that takes me back.
Do you want to know why I remembered that it was called the Herculoids?
Because of a Family Guy gag?
No, because of a Venture Brothers gag.
That's hilarious.
It's a Venture Brothers gag. They mention it. I don't remember if it was season 1 or season 2, but at some point they make an offhanded joke and mention the name Herculoids.
Yeah.
And a memory, I heard that name and my brain went,
it clicked.
We know what that is.
Yeah, we can picture it. Oh, they mentioned Magic the Gathering cards. They mentioned all kinds of just offhanded little things that you never even see in the show. But you should watch that video, go back through your texts. Look at that video that I sent.
Dig through my mountain of text messages.
Look, what you're saying is you haven't watched Johnny Quest, really, so you're missing a layer of parody and satire that I think will really enrich your watch. Because, I mean, Action Johnny is in the show. Grown-up Johnny Quest. Like, if you wonder what it was like.
Do they call him Action Johnny in the show?
His name is Action Johnny.
Okay.
You do see the logo and stuff in the first couple of seasons. What I think happened is somewhere along the lines they lost the rights. So they had to kind of stop mentioning it. But technically, the Venture Brothers is a continuation of the Johnny Quest universe.
Oh, I see.
It
takes place
because it's the Hanna-Barbera. They have all the Hanna-Barbera library and stuff. So, like, Race Bannon makes an appearance in the show and actually talks.
Yeah, you learn in season 1 that it takes place in the Quest universe because Race Bannon makes an appearance.
Race Bannon makes an appearance.
He dies.
Action Johnny is what they call him, short for, Johnny Quest. But they make he's got the blonde hair. He's voiced by Brennan Small. He basically grew up to be a junkie because his dad messed him up, dragging him on all these adventures. Well, they couldn't do a straight up show of the messed up adventures of junkie Johnny Quest. So that's partially why the Venture Brothers exist, to be in, a proximity of that same dynamic. The two, the super scientist with the kind of action-y bodyguard guy, and then the kid that they drag along. In Johnny Quest, it's Johnny and Haji. Haji also makes an appearance, by the way. They don't call him by name, but if you've seen the intro even to Johnny Quest, you know that there's a little kid in the seat next to Johnny.
Right.
And instead of having Bandit the dog, they call him Scamp. And they have several Scamps throughout Rusty's childhood.
I keep almost referencing season 2, but I'm going to be...
Yeah, it's tough, I know.
Because it's right there, man. I watched that.
It's right there. And I will tell you now...
See, I don't have this encyclopedic knowledge of the show, so all my brain can think of...
is the last thing you saw?
Is stuff we've seen in the last 3 days.
Sure. But yeah, you've been binging it real hard, so I get it. Like, yeah, it's all right there. So in season 1, my favorite episode is probably... come on, it's got to be Tag Sale, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's Venture Brothers to me. Like, that's what they do best.
Tag Sale is the one where they have a yard sale, right?
I believe it's officially titled Tag Sale You're It for any sticklers out there. But yes, that's the episode we're referencing.
Tag Sale You're It. And there are sticklers out there.
I love titles, and all their titles are beautiful. They always, I think on a commentary, they explicitly say they eye chat back and forth when it comes time to title things. And they just kind of give each other lists and go back and forth until they land on a title they like.
Right.
Because neither of them are particular. Like, they don't want to be like, oh, I like this title the best, because they don't want the other person to shoot it down, so they just put a list out to each other.
I'm going to revisit the game real quick. I am a wimp right now. If I am cheesing the game, right? I don't think this character, this enemy rather, was supposed to fall down there.
Yeah.
And an easy way to beat enemies is just fall on them. And, are you kidding me?
Oh, it goes through, okay.
All right.
She's still powerful.
She's showing me what's up. But an easy way to beat enemies is fall on them and just hit the attack button, the main attack button. And that's what I'm doing right now. Where are you? Where'd she go? So I'm trying to cheese the game, and I think I'm going to die because of it, most likely anyway.
All right, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to give you some fun facts for Tag Sale. For Tag Sale. I don't know if it's the first appearance, but it's an extremely early appearance of Augustus St. Cloud. He will eventually become a major character. He's one of those characters that you see in the background kind of forever, or he'll have one line kind of dialogue.
Okay.
But they eventually flesh him fully out. And you'll come to find, I'm sure you've already started to see characters that you weren't sure were going to be a thing become more of a thing.
For sure, yeah.
That's only, they're masters of taking someone where you go, oh, you didn't like that guy? Well, next season's good. You're going to feature a major arc of that guy. Or that guy, remember from 2 seasons ago? Well, he's back and he's got he fits in this way.
Any Dark Souls veteran that just saw that go down is probably like, this guy sucks.
And
you would be correct.
Well, for one thing, you're just a little assassin.
I'm tiny.
You're just a little guy.
Look at his face. That's not a man who's that.
Sickly, I would describe that as.
Sassy ass Sal has not had an easy life.
No.
It's been tough going for old Sassy Sal.
That cape was beautiful once. Now it's all ragged.
I got a cool hat though. Look at that. Yeah.
Some more fun facts. I believe they also some of the Star Wars jokes that they did in that episode spawned them actually having to swear off Star Wars jokes for a while. They felt like they were doing too many of them. You'll notice them pick up somewhere in season 2 and then kind of drop off, but then they kind of come back at a normal run. It's fun to watch the evolution, especially when you watch it with commentary and you know kind of what they were thinking as they were doing it then.
Right.
Then you see it a lot more as you're watching. So it's pretty fun to just do that kind of thing, but they are really good at also making commentary a lot like us, where they may be in front of a screen doing or watching something, but they're not really talking about what's happening. It's actually listening to that commentary is a lot like listening to us.
The gameplay, like every now and then I feel obligated to point out that we are playing a video game, that I am doing video game stuff.
Lit another bonfire, yeah.
But at the same time, for me the show is more like I'm hanging out with a buddy, and we're not... When you're hanging out with a friend, are you going to talk about the game you're playing? Probably not.
One commentary episode, they talk for a long time about going to a Tool cover band concert.
Oh.
It's that level of just like, hey, remember this? And then they'll just start talking about stuff.
Right.
Remember David from Sesame Street? Remember when he went crazy and locked himself in someone's garage? They talk about that on commentary for no reason. It's not even referenced in the show.
It's completely unrelated.
It's completely unrelated.
Yeah,
it's
so
fantastic.
if you're looking for like a great Let's Play show and someone who's an expert of their craft, look elsewhere, because that's not what this show is.
That's not what this show is, and frankly, you should know that by now.
Right. It is completely secondary to the show. Hopefully I got a little more, I just got a little more muscle.
Ooh, I gotta ask, what's your opinion on early Brock? Because Brock's real early in his...
Yeah, Brock is a character from the very get-go of the show. He's
right,
one of the main
he's
four.
a main character.
The four characters, you have Dr. Venture.
Right.
You have Hank and Dean,
his twin boys.
The Venture brothers. And then you have Brock Sampson, who is their bodyguard.
Yes,
And
government agent, specially assigned bodyguard.
It's not explained right away why he's their bodyguard either.
It's not explained. It's actually kind of explained and then re-explained over the course of a couple of seasons.
Right. Does it say that he works for OSI in the first season?
It's right on the cusp.
If not,
they do
then,
mention
well,
OSI and stuff. They make it more explicitly clear what that all indicates a little later on. And then the show really kind of becomes partially about the OSI. So anybody who's the Office of Secret Intelligence. Anybody who's anybody knows that that's where it's going. So yeah, that's why Brock's there. Essentially in this world, you have super scientists, adventurers, quote unquote good guys who are out there trying to make breakthroughs in the world of super science, whether that be a teleporter or a shrink ray or whatever. Classic comic book stuff, right?
What breakthroughs are you trying to make in super science right now? You specifically. You got anything going on?
Me? Oh, I'm trying to make a mildew-resistant paint that'll stick to anything, but it's difficult.
It's not going your way, is it?
It's not. Well, I'm still not a billionaire, so no, I'd say it's not going my way.
This guy is super mad.
So within the Venture Brothers world, the OSI helps protect those guys. That's the government, like I said, Office of Secret Intelligence. They try to keep an eye on these super scientist guys because a lot of bad people want to take them down and either...
And a lot of the super scientists are bad people too, right?
And they'll become super villains. So you've got this whole kind of group dynamic where you'll have quote-unquote protagonists and antagonists. That's what they like to call themselves because good guys and bad guys is considered pejorative in their world.
I gotcha.
Bad guys aren't bad guys per se. They just choose to do villainy, and they have an arch nemesis, and they do it with their guild, and it's all very by the books.
Right.
It's called arching. That's the verb they use for it.
Ooh.
So let's say you're Dr. Venture, right? You're the super scientist, boy adventurer who grew up to basically live off your father's legacy.
Yeah.
That still makes you a target for someone like me who might be a supervillain to say, hey, I don't like you. I'm going to make your life miserable.
And they successfully do so most of the time.
And they kind of do so, but really I'm just annoying. And here's the thing. I can't just kill you day one. That's not what this is about. This is about the art of the fight.
Okay.
This is about us going back and forth and exchanging equally matched aggression levels. So I do something mean to you, like kidnap your son, and you come and your mean bodyguard kills a bunch of my henchmen and gets them back. And I swear to get revenge, and you swear to be good, and it goes on and on. It is very much a play, or it's like wrestling, but it's a way to get out that aggression in a healthy way. And rules help us hate.
At some point, they're like, we're going to do it. We're finally going to kill him. And they're like, they just can't bring themselves to do it, right? The arch-villain can't bring themselves to kill their arch-enemy.
Over the course of the show, you'll see essentially every variation. You'll see people who did kill their archenemy, people who didn't, people who couldn't, people who wouldn't. You'll see all variations and kind of how that impacted their life and how people deal with balancing their job that might be hating someone professionally for a living, but they also might want to be a good husband too and have a young daughter that they're looking after and reading Paddington Bear to. That also happens. So how do you do that? How do you deal with your failure if you didn't live up to be what your father was? You know, it's all of those relationships with failure and being a man and pop culture and nerdy stuff all wrapped into one.
So I have a question for you that you probably know the answer to. Now's not a good time.
It's about 7.5. Thank you for asking.
I'm getting swatted by a dog who demands attention, who does not care that we're recording anything.
What's your question?
Are there any dedicated Venture Brothers podcasts out there? Like, this is all they talk about is Venture Brothers. Because I feel like that's kind of a dream for you.
There are a couple. There are not very many.
I can't imagine there are, because how do you talk? So there's a lot to talk about right now because I don't know much about it. And you know a substantial amount of it. Any kind of...
Well, they're dedicated in the sense that they're sort of what we're doing, which is an episode by episode breakdown.
Well, any kind
but
of...
more straightforward. So if that's the whole show, then yeah, there's like 80 episodes of them because that's how many episodes there are.
Any kind of podcast where it's like, hey, this is a
finite amount of stuff.
Right. There's only so much stuff. I'm trying to think of any other kind of podcast.
Well, let's just say there's a reason most people do like true crime or something, because that's so open-ended that, crime's not going to stop. There's going to be a new Jane Doe wash up every week.
This happens sometimes when new shows come out, and I think that they do it because they want to kind of get on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They say, oh, don't forget to listen to the Walking Dead podcast after the show. And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
What are you going to talk about?
Look, I think we're all a little sick of the tie-ins.
Because I think eventually, there's probably going to be a number of Venture Brothers podcast episodes on this show, because that's what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Is I'm watching the show. This is a boss, by the way. Look at that guy over there.
That is a boss.
That's the greater cursed wood tree or cursed great wood tree. Either way, he's a
bad boy.
I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
He's a big bad boy. Make your point.
He's tough. My point is that there's got to be, eventually, for these Venture Brother podcasts, all two of them out there, I wonder what they talk about whenever they run out of stuff to talk about.
I think they just move on to something else.
Oh, really? This is how many episodes of the Venture Brothers podcast there is.
that's not really fair. Like, it seems like I'm being mean to them. No, I think what they did is, they set out
to
go.
Not being mean to them.
I just didn't want to be misconstrued with what I was saying. Yeah, I know you're not at all. I just think they set out to go, okay, either we are a podcast that does, let's say, television shows, and that's just, we did a series on the Venture Brothers, so it was dedicated for a time to the Venture Brothers.
Okay.
Or they're one that go, we are a limited series podcast, because obviously they canceled the show.
Ow.
So we're not going to keep doing week by week podcasts if they're not coming out week to week. And we've already, they may re-release specials around holidays. They may, do that kind of thing, but I don't think I think they're just limited series.
I am so focused right now, man.
You are killing it. I'm very proud of you.
I'm not doing well. I only have two
not at all. But you got
things
flasks.
left.
You're not out of flasks. That's good.
Oh, all right.
You're out of ground.
Okay, I did pretty good.
So is this one of those that goes into a second level?
Yeah, he's got two phases, and there's these little squishy guys.
Nodules, we'll call them.
So a giant arm pops out of his chest, and you got to deal with that. He smashes the ground down and creates kind of like a poisonous area.
Mm-hmm.
I love the bosses in this game. The bosses make the game worth playing.
Oh, boss design is key to any good game. Just like arch enemies. I mean, any hero is only as good as his enemy, and I'd say Venture Brothers does, if anything, a better job with their enemies. It's so much more interesting to talk about the villains on Venture Brothers.
Oh, absolutely. Like there are heroes, but the villains are the ones that are conflicted. The ones that some of them have a hard time being a villain.
Oh yeah. It is. It's a lot of parody, and it's a lot of satire of just fun, nerdy stuff. But it's all wrapped in very real human stories, and it just keeps it all very grounded. And at the same time, you still got a guy who's basically Doctor Strange in the mix. So it's pretty fun.
I think as far as favorite season 1 characters go, Dr. Orpheus is definitely my favorite.
Well, look forward to him. He never goes away. You'll get at least one solid Dr. Orpheus centered episode every season.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great idea to have a Doctor Strange parody.
How many years before the MCU would he have debuted? You know what I mean? Like, they were not thinking about a Doctor Strange movie at the Marvel Studios when Venture Brothers was just putting it on the air. Going, this is what we're into. This is what we like.
This is what we're into, so we like.
So we're doing it. I don't care if anybody even knows who Doctor Strange is at this point. Benedict Cumberbatch,
Cumberbund, I think is his name.
So I think we're going to wrap up this boss or your life, and we are definitely going to wrap up this segment, because this segment has been the show. Like I said, I think that covers season 1. It's just kind of why to watch the show and what we liked about season 1.
I just saw the timer, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is Venture Brothers has taken up almost this entire episode.
And that's what'll happen when you're on the controls and I'm talking about Venture Brothers. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to run out of things to say about it, especially when we're confining it to a season.
Look at that guy's hand. Look at this. Oh.
I know. I'm really enjoying this boss
fight.
He
almost grabbed me.
I hope you get
him.
Oh,
he backhanded me.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Come on.
Oh,
baby.
Yeah, I'm dead.
You did, baby. Just like the boys.
Oh, that's the way this game. It does not matter how many times I've beaten this game, how good I think I am at this game, or how good you think you are at this game. If this game says you don't win, today, then you don't win.
So we made it through partially describing a season of a show, and we made it from Undead Settlement to Undead Settlement. All right.
Yeah.
What a success.
I'll have you know that I'm at the dilapidated bridge.
Ooh.
Which is right there.
It's a great place for a bonfire.
We're going to go over there next.
Let's do it.
All right, baby. We'll see you next time.